Hey guys, I'm back.
Hey, what the fuck?
How are we all doing today? This is Iroaster File 5 here. For those who still stuck around my channel since a few years from now, thank you all so much for tuning back in. But for those who are new to my channel and don't know who I am, well, hi. For those who don't know me, let me explain a little bit of myself. I used to be a Beatstar player back in 2022, and for those who don't know what Beatstar is, Beatstar was a rhythm-based music app game that was really shortly discontinued in 2025, and unfortunately, that's where the game has come to an end and most players have disbanded. But during its peak in 2024, I started this channel and uploading a bunch of Beatstar content, from videos about gameplay to discussion videos, and even continuing off a tier list of a certain other person I looked up to. And basically, since 2025 ended for Beatstar, a few weeks ago I released my final Beatstar video, and that put a close to the Beatstar era of my channel. And during that time over here, I've been actually pondering over here how to actually do my content going forward. And after much thinking it over, you may actually understand what I'm talking about. I decided for this going over, Beatstar here is actually finally closed down, but my channel is still going to be up for what is going to be left of it. And what I decided to do here is actually upload the rest of my music for 2026. Now I'm pretty sure all of you are asking the same question. Why? To give a little leeway, I started doing music a bit in June of 2025. Basically when Beatstar was on its last leg, I decided to take my hands into music and to see how will I do if actually trying to construct any music. And basically, while I actually started more than just parodying Beatstar with how to actually do their own kind of song, it quickly grew into my own sense of style of what I wanted to do in music. And I do think during the time I did well of actually trying to manage how to actually compose some really interesting music. And Beatstar was definitely inspiration for a lot of people. It actually introduced some pretty underrated artists into the spotlight over here, and I decided to do myself the same thing. How will I do when it actually comes to doing music? And as time went on throughout the months of June and December 2025, I found myself being very adapted into music to the point where I actually started making songs like every 1 or 2 weeks. But I think now it's probably time to actually shake things up a bit. This year for my content for my channel, I decided to actually go forward with my music, and this one's going to be a little different than usual over here. Basically, if you know my channel, I actually have this little branding here called Iroaster's Original, and yes, that title is still going to be staying here on my music for now. And I think now it's time to actually talk about a big change here for my music. Firstly, I think we should talk about this.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
For those who actually figured it out already, all my old songs from June to December 2025 used this software, GarageBand, and to put it lightly, it was limited on everything. Now to put it lightly, I did use it to my advantage here of trying to work with the limitations and actually try to use it to make some cohesive songs. Sometimes it worked, but other times it didn't do so much. And basically, my whole entire ordeal with GarageBand was to actually utilize it better to see if I could make a better song with Beatstar, since at the time they weren't making any songs that I was liking right now. But this year, I decided to actually change things up a bit. My songs going forward from January to December of 2026 will be used for a different software, and this is where BandLab comes in here. From experimenting during the winter break, I decided to actually go through another software to see which one can actually do better in upgrading my music to put up into the best quality possible. And I think BandLab definitely really actually pulled things together. And I think here going forward, you all gonna be really amazed here about the songs, how much I'm gonna be making things so much better here on this channel. Songs are gonna be much more better and higher quality, even actually branching out some other genres or even some styles you wanna see. Speaking of which, let's talk about it, shall we? Now, here's how my content for 2026 is going to work. Every month from January to December 2026, I'm going to be releasing one new Iroaster original song. You don't know what it's going to be about or not having an idea about what it's going to have, but I do guarantee it's going to be something very interesting. By pondering it over, I decided this year for my music to be the experimental era, where I wanted to experiment a lot more into different genres, different music styles, and to see which one works best for me. And I do think that each month you're going to be hearing a different style of music or genre per Iroaster Original. And I think this is probably the best way in order to get the best feedback from you, the fans, of what you want to see more of in my music, and to see whether or not does it actually feel like the right direction or the wrong direction to go. And I'm always open to feedback for a lot of people who always love to see my music. So I created a list over here about what genres you can actually expect to see for the songs going forward over here. The rest are going to be remaining a mystery, so stay tuned. Now with that being said, some people are actually worried about my old music and when it's going to be uploaded to SoundCloud. Well, here's the answer to my question. Throughout this year, along with the new Iroaster Original songs being uploaded to SoundCloud, I will also be doing something called Iroaster Originals Revamped. In this era of my music, I will be revamping up some of the old songs I created in 2025 with GarageBand and switching over to the new software BandLab. This will actually give the better audio quality or even actually adding some extensions to some songs that I probably missed. But there are two things you must note about this. The first being is that while the Iroaster originals for the new ones will still be uploaded on YouTube and SoundCloud, the revamped versions for my old songs will only be SoundCloud only. Reason being is because I already uploaded some videos about the old ones already up on my channel, so if you want to see the revamped version of something like Captain's Control or Game of Demise, it's going to be straight on the SoundCloud. And also, secondly, I want to actually be sure for a fact that everyone has at least one interesting thing going forward. And basically, the revamped versions will be really good here for the fans who still stuck around here and do want me to do better in music, trying to revamp it the best way they can. And here's how the schedule is going to go for these songs as well. The new Iroaster originals will actually be happening every end of the month. However, every Iroaster revamp will actually be happening in the middle of the month, so think around the 15th at latest for each month. And for each one of the new songs, it will be around the 30th, 31st, or 28th, depending on which month it is. And here's how these things are going to work over here. The revamped versions, I'm going to be asking you, the fans, to say that which song do you want to be recreated. After February, I'll be putting up a poll on my YouTube channel asking which song do you want from my old days in order to be revamped up. And whoever gets the most votes will be the next one to be revamped. And now for other videos going forward, I'd like to ask everyone else here the question I've been actually pondering since the beginning of the year. Am I done talking about Beatstar on this channel? Yes and no to this degree. Yes, that I'm actually done talking about the basis of Beatstar, like their game or their seasonal stuff, but I probably still want to make some discussion videos about anything else I'd like to talk about in this game. Maybe I can actually make some games later down the line, but I don't know, you guys let me know. And I think that's about it. I know this is a big change to my channel since most of you actually came over for Beatstar, but I think this is a good change in my opinion because I really want to give back to the players over here who were in love with the underrated artists and actually trying to put in my own efforts in order to give something back to you. And I think overall, I really think this year will be a really good year for Iroaster Originals. And now there will be some other videos scattered in between before the Iroaster Revamps and Iroaster Originals, maybe some instrumental videos, or maybe some discussion videos about Beatstar if I'm actually not done yet talking about the game. You never know, you just have to keep watch, because something could be on the way. But anyway, that does it for today's video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Stay tuned for the first ever new Iroaster Original song coming on January 31st. Thank y'all so much and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.